right, there we go. Good evening, everyone. It's 5:30. We'll call the conservation meeting of October 17th. Paul, could you read the...
Yes. All public hearings and meetings heard by the Raynham Conservation Commission on Wednesday, October 17, 2018, at 5:30 p.m. in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., are relative to filings and joint hearings and/or meetings under the Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended, and the Town of Raynham Wetland Protection Bylaw.
All right. We're just going to go out a little bit of order here. First one on the agenda is issuance of an order of conditions, Route 24 layout, Susan MacArthur, Massachusetts Department of Transportation.
We are set.
Yep. We voted to issue last week, and just signatures. I know. Very good. Second on the agenda is a request for an extension of order of conditions, DEP file 269-0917, Pine Street, Doe Run, Deer Hill Development. Anyone here? No? Okay. Their order of conditions is about to expire in November, so we need a motion to 3-year extension? 3-year extension on it.
Okay, motion. Sorry, nobody here?
Nobody's here for it.
Motion to approve the request for extension order of conditions, DEP file number 2690917, Pine Street, Doe Run, Deer Hill Development for 3 years.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, and next on the agenda is the issuance of the order of conditions for DEP file 269-0917, Pine Street, Doe Run, Deer Hill Development. Too many deers.
Motion to issue the extension of the order of conditions, DEP file number 2690917, Pine Street, Doe Run, Deer Hill Development.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Yep. All right, next on the agenda is notice of intent, DEP file 269-0964, Raynham Sewer Department, cross-country sewer right-of-way map 11, parcels 128-2A and 128.
Good evening. For the record, I'm Amanda Hool with Ty and Bond, and I am representing the sewer department. I'm joined this evening by Rob Carey, who is the superintendent. Oh, I'm sorry?
The tear sheet.
Oh, the tear sheet. Yes, I have that. Sorry, I always get so distracted by these stupid easels. My worst enemy. I highlighted it. It's in there. Read it.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Take this
Good
down.
one, Paul.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Can you read that?
magnifying glass. Just try to enlarge it next time if you could.
Oh, yes, I didn't get the actual original in the mail yet, and so they had emailed me that today.
This is super tiny print, so.
I can email a copy too, so you can zoom in on it.
Okay, pursuant to Massachusetts Wetlands Protection,
Well, there you go, Paul.
Try
You
that.
can read it.
A little bit bigger.
Even with my two, I can't read that.
pursuant to Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town and Raynham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on a notice of intent filed by the Raynham Board of Sewer Commissioners for the Katy Drive cross-country sewer easement access improvements. The public meeting will be held on October 17th, 2018, at 5:30 PM at the Veterans Memorial Town Hall, 558 South Main Street. The filing is available for public review at the Raynham Conservation Office. Thank you.
Very good. All righty.
I already introduced myself, so we got that out of the way. I have a site plan here with an overview, but essentially the sewer department is looking to establish more structurally sound access to an existing sewer easement off of the end of Katy Drive. There is a sewer easement that runs cross-country through the woods that's currently maintained. It's a wide open cut easement that goes from Katy Drive up to King Street. And they're looking to construct a 320 linear foot gravel access path. Currently, vehicles are going in there, they're getting stuck. It's mucky, the wetland's getting
That's
rutted.
because it's wetlands.
Yeah, it's a wetland, so. And I patched, the wetland area, and this is Katy Drive here. This swath is upland. There's an intermittent stream that is flowing sometimes during the year, during some years. So that will also need to be crossed. So essentially the purpose of this road is to provide for continued access for up to 70,000 pound trucks to do back cleaning, CCTV inspections, and possibly future lining of the sewer pipe. The sewer interceptor is a little over 30 years old, so it's likely it will, it needs maintenance and might need some future improvements as well. So the hope is, this will provide a safe, reliable access so vehicles won't be driving all through the wetland. The defined access way will also keep and prevent trucks from going whichever way they want to. So while it results in direct impacts to wetlands right now, over the long term, we feel that having this defined access will really sort of preserve what's on either side of it. The roadway will be 14 feet wide. And this is a cross-section of the area. You can see the intermittent stream channel right here. The existing grade is that bright green. And we're proposing to regrade that and cover it with articulated concrete blocks, just to make that channel passable, just the way it is right now. That steep pitch down, you can't get a truck through there. And the access road, Katy Drive is essentially right here. And then this will be the end of the gravel access. And it'll just be 14 foot wide, just 12-inch compact gravel that'll be laid into a geocell base. And so those geocells will help hold the gravel, keep it from washing into the wetland, and it'll really increase the longevity of that road over time because the gravel won't wash away. For the limit of work, we're going to be placing hay bales and or wattles to just define the limit of work so they don't go farther or outside of that permitted area. And so that's in brown, all around the existing work area. We do anticipate, depending on the time of year, precipitation and just base flow in this intermittent stream, they might need to bypass pump and isolate that area just so they could get those concrete blocks in there real quick. That'll just be some cofferdams, most likely sandbags. And there will be a bypass pump that will go into a filter bag so that doesn't fall over. And this is just a typical detail of that. So the blue is essentially the hose going into the filter bag where the water will be pumped. It'll be within a typical stilling basin that's surrounded by straw bales lined with the geotextile. So the water will permeate through the filter bag, settle within the basin, and the straw bales will dissipate any flows as well. And then that will just naturally flow back into the resource area. And there are a few cross sections just of the articulated concrete blocks that are existing grade with the brown here, and the concrete blocks will just span that channel. And this just shows the 12-inch gravel that we've placed over the road, so it's pretty straightforward. This is a limited project because it is associated with construction for sewer under the Wetlands Protection Act. We realize we are altering somewhere around 4,200 square feet of BBW. So because of the limited project status, we're able to potentially waive some of the performance standards for these resource areas. That is, of course, at your discretion. So we are not proposing replication. There's not really anywhere to replicate because it is all wetland. So that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of the project, and I'll turn it over to you for any questions.
What's the total length again?
The total length of the road is 320 linear feet, including this green span, which is the concrete blocks, and that in and of itself is 90 linear feet, which is a part of that 320.
Why are you proposing 14 feet?
It is a standard access road width, just so you can do turnarounds, and for the larger back trucks and things that need to get down there.
Can't you do a T at the end or something like that rather than doing?
Mean to turn around?
Well, that
Yeah.
was gonna be my question, same thing.
Typically for utility access, it is just standard in some of the larger maintenance trucks, and if they do need to go in there and slip line the pipe or anything, having a road of that width is better in the long term for any maintenance they might need to do.
And they're gonna be able to turn a 14-foot truck around there?
I would have to defer to Rob.
You're gonna be able to turn one of the big trucks that she's talking about?
Yeah.
But actually, can you just step up and introduce yourself?
Rob Carey, Raynham Sewer Superintendent.
The question is, the bigger trucks that you're gonna be having down this road,
Right.
are they gonna be able to turn around without some type of turnaround at the end,
At 14 feet wide, probably not. No, they'd probably have to back out.
back out?
Yeah. Well, probably the idea on having it 14 feet wide is if you have a vac truck in there, we have a smaller pickup in there that needs to get around to do other things in there while that vac truck is in that area. It would give us that little bit of room to get around that vac truck while he's doing what he needs to do,
Okay.
or a tractor or something like that to get around the vac truck.
The vac truck's gonna be down near the sewer manhole, correct?
Yeah, they would be used to, if there was a problem with a blockage in the sewer main.
There's no reason for it to stop anywhere else, though, right?
Correct, it would be traveling from one manhole to the other.
So why couldn't you limit the width on the entrance and then make it wider down there?
It's a possibility.
We're just trying to minimize the
Yep.
amount of
Mhm.
wetland that you're going to impact.
I mean, them trucks are pretty big, the back
Mhm.
trucks. I'm not
Yeah.
sure the actual width of them, but
And they
I
had,
believe it is a 20-foot easement, right? 20-foot wide easement, so
okay.
it wouldn't be impacting the whole easement.
Is there any intention to move further down this path? Or are you going to stop right at the 300, 400 feet or whatever you
At
said?
this time, that would be the limit.
At this time, does that mean in the future you're going to come back? for
Hopefully
more?
not. I mean, hopefully this will give us the access that we need. Problem is, right now, to get into a certain point, to be able to access both sides from King Street, we can't get in on that side.
Okay.
We gotta go through somebody's yard, it's very wet. To get in through Katy Drive through the stream crossing would probably be the easier way to do it with the Ford crossing that they're talking about.
Okay.
Right now, we maintain that easement with a John Deere tractor with a brush hog on it.
Yep.
We can't even access it from Katy Drive, we have to go through somebody's yard. We make ruts in the guy's yard and off of King Street, and even when we get in there, there's a wet spot that the tractor just about gets stuck in, so there'd be no way of accessing that side of that easement from King Street.
And
How
how,
wide's the riverbed, I mean the stream bed, the intermittent stream bed?
That's probably just 5 feet, just based upon just field conditions. We were out there just looking at it again a few weeks ago, but it's pretty narrow. It's not very steep or super defined, but you can see where the intermittent flow is and the changes in vegetation.
Was there ever the thought of throwing in there one-time pipe? A concrete pipe so the intermittent stream can run from side to side, instead of putting the concrete 8 slabs in there?
There was discussion of that, but that had implications under Section 404 permitting with the Army Corps. So this seemed to be a simpler, more streamlined way for the sewer department to go about this.
Okay.
But that was explored.
I'm just trying to think, if you get, when that stream is running, you might get stuff coming downstream that's gonna block all that concrete, so you're gonna get a lot of stuff on top of that, a lot of sediment.
There will also be a gravel base, once the gravel underneath. So this orange is essentially the 8-inch gravel barrow beneath that gray concrete block, so that will be permeable too, so we'll still be able to achieve some sort of flow and infiltration through there during high flow events.
Well, how often do you anticipate having to use this road?
Well, to get a tractor in it, we're doing that a minimum twice a year.
Okay.
As for maintenance with vehicles, we haven't had a lot of vehicles in there. This actually came about because just this past year, we did do some maintenance in there, trying to get camera TVs in there and stuff like that. That's when we realized the problem that we had.
But it's not something that could be used daily?
No, no.
And I'm not sure if you said it, I think you did, but how far in is the manhole off, Katie?
There is, I'm showing a manhole, sewer manhole 118 right here at the end.
Oh, it's all the way to the end?
Yeah, there I see a
Okay.
manhole here.
Yeah,
There's one, and then one at the end.
Well, it's not the end. That easement continues down to a
But
bend.
at the end of the proposed
Right, okay,
access
yep.
road.
Okay, all right. And there's no other manholes towards King Street that you need to,
Oh, yeah, no, there is. That's the problem.
so how are you gonna get to those?
This is once you get in there, it dries up a little bit, and there's
Yeah,
a corner.
So this is, the wetland, there's sort of an upland finger that extends here. You can see this green line, that's the wetland boundary, and the orange is the sewer that extends out through that way, so it does dry up.
Yeah, this easement continues from in there up to a corner point where it hangs a left and goes over towards King Street. It's
Okay.
quite a long easement.
All right,
And that stretch actually at the corner, as you get into the easement, and heads out to King Street, like I was saying, we have to come in the other way through somebody's yard. It's very wet in there, through the guy's yard. We make ruts in his yard. And then there's another wet spot that the tractor just about gets stuck. And once we get through that, we're okay.
Okay.
So in order to access, if we had to get a truck in there, as long as we can get through this wet spot here, we get into some higher ground, some drier ground, and we can get to that corner, we can camera or TV or jet it from that corner point.
okay.
Okay.
Azu, have you had a chance to review this?
Yeah, I actually mentioned to Gail a little bit, and said because it's sewer and it's an easement anyway, they could have very easily get away with their request for determination, because you do those easements all the time.
Yeah.
So I have no issue with it.
And why did they do it in a Y then? And why did they?
Well, that's the question you have to pose to Diane Bond.
We proposed doing this with a notice of intent because this was directly within a resource area, and it wasn't within buffer zone only, so by the reading of the Wetlands Protection Act, it was sort of in that gray area of maintenance versus change in existing conditions, so tried to play it safe.
And that sounds more like a plain safe, because even in the, if you look in the boxes that you check, it can be, work is in the resource, but will not result in a permanent loss of resources temporary, so because you do a determination, but because they were erring on the side of caution, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, any of the commissioners got any more questions? Anyone in the audience have any questions? No? Okay,
Let's close the hearing.
yeah. Would you like to close the hearing then?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Motion? Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
It's all you, Bill.
Don't fight, kids.
I'll second it, once you're done. After you read everything.
Attaboy, Kevin, okay. Motion to close, notice of intent, DEP file number 2690964, Raynham Sewer Department, cross-country sewer right-of-way, map 11, parcels 128 2A and 128.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded for filed 269-0964, Raynham Sewer Department, cross-country sewer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you
you.
so much, appreciate your
Okay,
time.
thank you.
You can approve it next month.
All right, yep. Next one is a continue abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, DEP file 2690961-167 South Street West, map 14, parcel 26. Applicant is 147 South Street West Realty Trust.
Rob Costa, property owner.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if you remember the last time I said that we wanted to look at that finger-like projection.
Yes.
And as I did speak with Mr. Costa, I said you can bring your engineer and your partners to meet me out there to discuss the line, but I think that line should be connected. And that I would be glad to meet with them to discuss my findings. And he said it will not hurt whatever he plans to do in the future, and he doesn't want to pay them to come and argue. So he's willing to connect the line.
Connect the lines,
So,
okay.
I have no problem with that then.
All right. Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm okay with connecting, I think it was flag 11 to flag 18 or 19, one of the two. It's all within that FEMA zone anyways, and so it's really, I wouldn't be doing anything that close.
but let's just check the flag numbers to
Yeah.
make sure for the record.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, if you look at where they flag the wetlands on the street here, okay? They say, they're putting this here as a upland.
Yep.
That does not exist. That should be, so we wanna get rid of 21, basically connect 16 to 22.
16 to 22.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there supposed to be an updated plan that shows that, or?
No, this is the plan that he has, current plan. So in the ORAD, you say, you have a box that says accurate. No, we'll check the box that says modified. So you're modifying it.
Okay.
So we're gonna modify it.
Modifying and say that the wetlands has in there, except that the flag, this should be connected to this flag.
All right. Anything else?
No,
That was our only arguing point.
that was, yeah, that's fine with me.
All right. Go ahead, Kevin. So motion to close?
Mr. Chairman, is there anybody in the audience?
Oh, I'm sorry. You in the audience for South Street? Nope. Okay. Motion?
Motion to close, continued abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, DEP, file number 2690961-167, South Street West, map 14, parcel 26. Applicant is 147 South Street West Realty Trust.
Second that motion?
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And Azu, you'll make the
Yeah.
correct change on the paperwork?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you'll state it, yeah.
The next meeting.
Yeah.
That's why we're not voting on it tonight.
Yep, no, but you'll,
Oh, yeah.
you'll fill in the boxes so it's
Yeah.
done correctly? All right, thank you. All right. Excuse me. Next up is notice of intent, DEP file number 269-0962-424, Hall Street, map 1, parcel 100, Kathleen Grant.
And I apologize, someone has stolen the tripod, so.
Oh,
Take one, it's okay.
we're gonna use his.
Just make sure I get it back, 'cause I lose.
We'll put you up last just for this.
Ooh, that's a nice one, too.
Thank you very much.
That's That's nicer than the one we had.
Check the date.
Did you check the dates?
I think I've donated one.
I don't know why.
10-4.
10-4?
10-4? Good, okay.
How's that?
Right, yep.
In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Raynham local bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, October 17, 2018, at 5:30 PM in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room in Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall at 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass, on a notice of intent filed by Kathleen Grant of 424 Hull Street, Raynham, Mass. 02767. The applicant requests to add on to an existing single-family home within the 100-foot buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland resource area. The work is subject to jurisdiction under the Wetland Protection Act and the Town of Raynham wetland bylaw. The property is owned by Kathleen Grant and is located at number 424 Hull Street, Raynham, Mass., and shown on the assessor's map, Map 1 as parcel 100.
Good evening, Joshua Borden on behalf of Arthur Borden and Associates, project engineer. I have Kathleen Grant in the audience if anyone has any questions for her tonight. Pretty simple filing. We're here. She's looking to add on a 35 by 24 addition to the left side of her house. It's within 100 feet of a BVW to the rear. The whole yard is currently existing grass and lawn that will be removed, and the addition will be added. There will be no change to the grade. It's pretty straightforward. If anyone has any questions.
Any questions?
So the house currently, just the way I'm looking at it, is currently in the 100
Yes.
foot already to begin with.
Yep.
Which is why we're here, because the addition, if you're attaching it to the house, is automatically going to be within the
Yes.
100 foot, because the house is already within the 100 foot.
Yep.
Okay.
Showing your erosion controls going around the back of the house, does this driveway go all the way around the back?
It does currently, yes.
And you're gonna
But the driveway's
remove,
gonna come out, and the erosion controls are gonna be.
your erosion controls are shown inside the driveway, that's why I asked.
Yeah, that part of the driveway's gonna come out.
I don't see that here.
So your erosion controls have to be on the other side.
Should be on both sides, right? See, I don't have that on this map here.
Look at the thing, look at the thing, right?
It's erosion controls. This is the driveway.
Okay, all right.
So driveways between the proposed addition and the shed, but that
Yeah.
portion of the driveway is all coming out.
Yeah, so we can certainly move that, because that can easily be moved back.
So the driveway's going to be shorter.
Yes,
Azul,
in essence, we're removing impervious for impervious.
Azul, did you get a chance to review?
I was complete application, and I think, doesn't this border the project that was, we had a history, right by the, where they had a house extended into the back, where they crossed wetlands?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And those residents are here also.
Yes, they are.
I'd like to hear what it's have to say.
Anybody? Anybody in the audience? Go ahead, sir, just,
For the record, Aaron Mello, resident 396 Hall Street. I was involved in the history that Zoo had mentioned, and we do have some concerns. Certainly respectfully wish Mrs. Grant all the success and luck with what she's doing. I do not want to try to obstruct that, but again, we do have some concerns. In our past history, that protected land that abuts her around the north side of her property and the west side of her property is protected wetlands. And what was found through our original walkthrough when we went through our project for approval to build our house was that there was a lot of debris along that, on my property, but along that border. also discovered was, I guess I will call a man-made drain that was discovered on a walkthrough that starts, and I believe it goes back to 1940, or around that area, somebody installed it. But it originates on my property and then kind of cuts in between the Clays property and the Grants property. So the Clays would be to the north, to the south portion of her property. I believe it was covered at the time it was discovered, but on Mrs. Grant's property, I think she cleaned that up. In doing so, dumped more debris on our property. And I know that there was, I don't recall 100%, but there was some back and forth on getting that debris cleaned up. Now, at our approval, we were required, I believe, by the commission to clean the debris on the original drain that's on our property, which we did. But I don't know and can't claim that any of the other debris have been cleaned that I believe Mrs. Grant was ordered to. And my concern is the protection of that property, and what's going to protect us from additional debris being dumped there. And that's just a concern. I believe that, you folks are going to require hay bales and what you normally require for protection. But I have a concern that everything's followed the way it's supposed to be, in that the original items that were supposed to be removed were and are removed.
Thank you. I just have one question for you, sir. Yes. And I remember when we did your house, what year was that?
2009 to 2010.
2009 to 2010.
I'm willing to bet she's correct.
They're always correct.
A lot easier that way.
And we can check back in our records and see if there were any back and forth between debris and what happened.
Okay.
We can go back and correct.
If there's
Oh,
debris,
one second, okay.
if there's debris, we can put that in the order of conditions.
Yeah.
And clean that up.
Yes, we
Make
can.
sure that doesn't happen.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am? Yes, you have to go up to the mic, sorry. And just state your name and address, please.
Hi, Kathleen Grant, 424 Hall Street, Raynham, Mass. Just in regard to that debris, the gentleman that did clear out that existing drain on between the Clays and my property, they did dump dirt behind the fence there near the drain that's kind of between the Clays, myself, and the Mellows property. And the people that did it were made to come back and clean that out. And they did that. They were not able to bring a bulldozer or anything in to do it. They had to do it by hand.
Okay,
And I believe someone from the Conservation Committee was there and approved that that was cleaned out.
okay, all right.
I believe it was about a 5 by 6 foot area that was about 4 feet tall that they had just dumped
Okay.
dirt and some gravel that was there.
You have a better memory than mine.
Well, I was more like on Miller's property. I didn't really go onto his property.
Okay,
Right.
all right. Can we have permission to go out there and make sure that the debris did get removed?
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
I don't have a problem with that.
all right, thank you.
Just a point of information too, the existing pool is encroaching into the 25-foot.
Ouch.
Okay,
Just a little corner.
all right.
When was this house built?
I believe it was in 1965.
65.
So about the pool.
It was before.
And when was the pool done?
We've had a pool there for 33 years.
That's 3 years, okay. There's the answer.
That's grandfathered in.
It's
We
all
can't
set?
do anything-
Yeah.
We can't do anything about that.
All right, anybody else have any questions? Any other comments, sir?
Chairman, we can look at the debris.
Yep.
And unless they have anything else to add, you can always make that debris removal
Part of the condition.
but first item to be done before the commission can sign off on the building permit application.
Perfect.
So I don't think there would be a need to continue the hearing, if they so choose to have the hearing closed.
All right, sir.
If you guys don't have any problem with it, it doesn't sound like anything is too
Nope.
big that we can't handle, so if you want a motion to close the hearing.
Yeah, and you
that'd
did,
be-
you heard the comments about the debris, we'll just
Yep.
check that. And
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, my client is happy with that.
Perfect.
Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
The only thing is the hay bale on the plan, so we gotta make sure that we know that that's a modification on our part, that it's gotta get moved to the limit of work.
Yeah,
Well, we usually, a standard condition that we've been including in the order now is that we get a certified location of the hay bale. We go out and inspect it before they can start work. That's a permanent part of the order now.
so you heard that?
That's fine, yeah.
We'll have to move the hay line back.
Yep, no, I understand
And when
that.
it's all set, call us, we'll check it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else? So to close the hearing?
Close the hearing.
All right.
I'll make a motion to close the notice of intent for DEP file number 269-0962, 242 Hall Street, map 1, parcel 100. Kathleen Grant.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Can I have that other plan?
Thank you.
All right. Next up on the list, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, 1255 and 1305 New State Highway, M&T lot development.
All set?
We good?
Good evening. For the record, my name is Dan Aguirre. I'm a senior project manager at SciTech.
One second, we just gotta read it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why I asked if we were all set.
In accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, in the town of Raynham, local bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, October 17th at 5:30 PM in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room at the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall at 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass, on an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation filed by MT Lot Development LLC of 1525 New State Highway in Raynham, Mass. 02767. The applicant seeks review and approval of delineated bordering vegetated wetlands in any resource areas. The properties are owned by MT Lot Development LLC and MT Lot LLC of 1525 New State Highway in Raynham, Massachusetts, 02767, and are located at 1255, 1255, and 1305 New State Highway, map 15, block 176, lots 41 and 4N.
All right, sir.
Excuse me, again, for the record, Dan Aguirre of SciTech Engineering. I'm here this evening on behalf of the applicants, as the commissioner read into the record. You all know this property as Mastria Nissan and Mastria Subaru. In the summer of 2015, we had filed an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation and received an ORAD from the commission, I think around June 15th. I don't have the date exactly, but I know I had sent it to Gail with the original file number. So At that time, our wetlands consultant had flagged the wetland, the zoo had reviewed it, made a few modifications that you see on the plan that you have in front of you. That plan is identical to the plan that we had filed at that time, with the exception of a revision date of our consultant having went out and looked at the line again. In late August of this summer, early September, Mr. Mastria called me regarding moving forward with some alterations to the Subaru portion of the development, that same instances and same issues that we were dealing with when we came with you, mandated improvements that Subaru requires that he make. However, this came 2 months late from the expiration of the ORAD that was issued by this board. So there should have been an extension requested. There was not. Mr. Mashry was not aware of. I couldn't believe it was 3 years, to be honest with you, either, but we don't maintain records for clients. It's up to them to get back to us. So I explained to him that the permit had expired, that he would need to refile a new ANRAD, pay the filing fees, which he has done, notify abutters, and go through the same process again. What I asked the board in review of this new application, and I think Azu will agree, this wetland as defined originally is a pretty distinct and well-established differential between what is upland and wetland. This is associated with the surrounding area of an existing parking lot, toe of slope of detention ponds, and things of that nature. Again, as I stated, we had our wetlands consultant go out and look at the line again, and he has expressed to me that with some knots, some flags were still there, that he feels that the line is still where it's at. So what we're here and what the applicant's hope is that this board will, not technically, but in some form or fashion, basically allow an extension of the previously approved line after paying the additional filing fees. We have not paid a new consultant fee because we weren't sure if it was going to be required to have another consultant review, but by all means, if the board sees that we need to pay that fee, we would gladly do it. We do not have a file number, so you will not be able to close this hearing tonight. We hand-delivered it to DEP last Wednesday, the same day that we dropped it. Oh, actually, we picked up the certified abutters list, because that's what we were waiting for. I think you got it a week before that. It took a week to get the certified abutters list. They dropped off the application to DEP, so a file number should be, imminent at any time.
So there's no plan to do anything with the dealership? We're just looking at
Right now, it's
approving
just reestablishing the line so that we can now move forward, now that they're ready to move forward. Because what they were looking at before, it was a grand project. They're now, Subaru has now, negotiations back and forth, they've now told them what he has to do. So the project will be much smaller in scope than what we were originally looking at 3 years ago.
So you'll be here again with
We'll be here with
that
notice
work.
of intent, absolutely, yes.
When you say Subaru has a grand scheme, is it updates to the facility itself,
Yes.
the building?
There
Or
will
is it
be-
the parking lot?
Well, there will be a building addition, much smaller than what we were originally looking at. Originally, when we were in, again, it was only a wetlands line that you reviewed last time, but it was going to be in conjunction with some wholesale changes to the entire site. What we're going to be coming back to you with, although you didn't see what we wanted to do, will be much smaller. I know it's smaller, but you don't, because you didn't see what we were doing. So as far as this board is concerned, we've never got past wetlands line
And
approval.
the reason I was just asking, because when you say updates, I wanted to make sure it was updates to the building and not updates to the outside parking lot area, trying to make it bigger, or...
Well, again, by putting in an addition, Subaru, again, every X number of years, you have to update your dealership.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves right at the moment.
But
We're only
I
here.
want to make it clear that there will be parking lot and drainage modifications through that notice of intent when we come back.
Yeah,
It's
but
not- it's
right
not
now, we're just,
Right now, it's just the wetlands.
we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here.
Correct.
All we
I
want to
just wanted to
do
answer a question.
is debate the wetland line and the fact that the permit ran out.
Correct.
So-
And then what I explained to Mr. Masher is don't have me do any more work or start now moving until we get this reestablished. So although it's now delayed us moving forward with the proposed work, it's something that had to be done without an established line.
Okay.
And he understood that.
All right, Azu?
Yeah, actually, when I reviewed the file, I told, if you remember, that's almost similar to what happened to Vermilla.
Yep.
With the approval, where they forgot to renew it, So if they had come here prior to the expiration of the ORAD.
We wouldn't be
I
here
would
right now.
definitely be recommending an extension of that.
Yep.
So I also suggested to them, because it's a requirement, because of the scope of the project, that they pay a consultant review fee, I suggested to them that they send a letter requesting a waiver of that, and which I will support, because it's just a improper timing on their part. So I don't see a need to pay another consultant review fee
Yeah, there's
for
no,
something that I would have said it looks good.
it's already, we already established one, so
That
there's no
is
sense.
correct.
Okay,
That is correct.
okay. All right, just, I'm assuming everybody's here is for this one, because it's the last one on the agenda. What we're talking about here is not any build-out, not any reconstruction of the parking lots. All we're establishing is the wetland line that we previously approved 3 years ago. Their permit ran out, it's good for 3 years. Their permit ran out, they forgot to renew it, so they're back here renewing the permit that says the wetland line is this, what was shown on the map. We're not talking about any build-outs or anything like that. Everybody,
And all the same abutters will get notified at the time of what they do want to do. So you'll get notification once an application is made to actually construct anything.
the process has to go through in steps, and this is the beginning step of it. They have to define the wetlands. Just 1 second, we'll get to the audience in a minute, okay, sir? All right, do you have anything else you
No, I have
want to
nothing
add?
else to add, no?
Okay, any of the commissioners?
We've seen this before.
All right, anybody who wants to speak, you just have to go up to the mic and state your name and address. Would you like to say something, make a comment?
I'll take care of the back road. Hi, my name is Jane Pike. I live at 37 Bristol Circle on Unit 44, and I'm on the other side of the wetlands. I have a couple of questions about is there a new, so not a new structure is going in place, is that
Well,
correct?
We have no idea right now. All we're here to, if you look on the map there, is to reaffirm that blue line that was established 3 years ago, which is the wetlands line.
Okay.
That's
and-
all we're doing today. Like, as he stated in the past, I mean, just a few minutes ago, that if they do decide to do some type of improvement, additions, whatever, you will all get re-notified again. The same process will happen again.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about buildings and parking lots and,
Okay, thank you. I do have a couple of questions, though, that maybe you can help me with. So I face the back of the dealership, and at night, there's a lot of work that goes on, so noise, bright lights that are on. I know there's a lot of light that comes in. I think we can all talk about that.
okay.
So,
That-
but that's probably a different
Yeah, that's
conversation?
going to be a concern of the planning board, building department. So,
And if I may, if the size and scale of an addition or parking lot alterations require a planning board submittal, which it most likely will, you'll also be notified of that hearing, and those types of questions can be answered, or you can address the planning board, because they handle those things. This board just handles the Wetlands Protection Act. So, but as far as impact to you with lighting, sound, if they're going beyond what their permitted hours are, you know, that would all be handled.
That's all planning
at that
board.
point. That's not this one.
Okay. Does that cover?
Just want to see what was the previous current line and the approved line. I didn't see the map, so.
yeah, if you want to come up and look at the map. What we previously approved is in the blue.
This is the.
Yes, that is the wetland line.
This is the current line?
Nope, it's still the blue line, the same line.
Okay.
Nothing has changed in 3 years.
And
what will be the new one?
It's the blue line.
The blue line.
The blue line's both the old and the new.
Oh,
They didn't change it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
so, like, if
Just state your name, sir, please.
I'm Purvesh Malavia, and Unit 46 in 37 Bristol Circle. So they approve the like line, then like they can convert it to commercial, or like it would be the different hearing, or
Yes,
like.
yes.
Yes, if they decide to do something to the building, they're probably gonna have to go through either the planning board or the building department.
So, like, we are here, like, is there any vote or anything, or just, like, to hear, like, let us know what's gonna happen? Like, why are we here?
You're here today because you got notified that their permit expired for their wetland line, that blue line that's shown on the map. So in order for us to approve that line, they have to notify all the abutters within 300 feet? 100 feet. 100 feet.
Really, the only thing up for discussion, and what you should have a concern with at this point, is whether or not you think that line is valid. And the consultant for the town is agreeing that it is valid. He looked at it before. We could have just extended it if we had filed the paperwork in June, but the owner was unaware of that requirement.
Yeah, they forgot to file the paperwork, so they had to come back to the board, and the board has to now reapprove the wetland line that was already existed. Our consultant, who's an expert, has gone out there and looked at it and agrees with them. So that's all we're discussing today, really.
Okay, so like you guys decide, like, good, like, you will see the environment and everything, right? Like it should be wetland or.
Yep,
Yeah.
they went out
If it
there
is
and
not
they did
possible, then
soil
you wouldn't
samples.
approve it, yeah.
Yep, they actually had a wetland scientist go out there who specializes in this, and he went out there and he said, this point, this point, and this point are all wetlands. And that's what we're here to discuss.
Okay, and like any future project, you guys will like let us know what build out you're gonna
Yep,
do and.
unless if they want to go forward in the future to do something, they're going to have to come back to all the different boards in town and state their case, and then the boards will vote on it. And that's when the residents have their opportunity to speak either for or against what's proposed. But everything has a step process.
So like I don't know where my house is right now.
Your house is not shown on the map. It would be just beyond the gray area there.
Below you down in the bottom.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
I think on the abutters list, there's also, I think there's a map that may show, that may help. Let's see what I can do. Okay, so, here's Route 44, okay? The dealership is here. This is Hill Street, heading south. Are you on this side? Are you below that? Here's Route 420. Here's the dealership. Here's Hill Street. You're south.
Yeah.
We gotta break this.
I'll give them 30 seconds.
They can do that in the hallway.
All right.
You're all in this location.
You're all south of what the wetlands is shown there on the map. Where your exact location is, you can Google map it, you can find out.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions or concerns related to the wetlands?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm Rugang Sardara, Unit 45, 37, Bristol Circle. So when you were approved 3 years ago, our house was not there. It was just.
Correct, yeah.
So it was just built 2 years ago. So only my concern is whatever land, the line is approved previously, it's not going to be very close to our house because it's not exact. We don't know exactly where this line is right now, where it's approved. So.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So.
When their house was built, they had to file a notice of intent, if you remember.
Yeah.
That was the one that we went back across the, it's not even anywhere near this. The only reason they have been notified is the condominium association is within 100 feet of the
100 foot.
property. Their unit is not even anywhere near 400 feet of the, yeah.
Okay.
Quite a ways from where you are.
Okay, so it's going to be right.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Don't blame
Okay,
that.
yeah, no, I'm sorry, I just didn't understand the question. Okay. All right, anybody else?
Because if you remember, Conoco did the plans.
All right, thank you.
For their condo.
All right, so,
Motion to close the
oh,
hearing?
sorry. No, we can't close the hearing. We need a motion to continue.
We have to
We don't have to find it.
continue.
I'll make a motion to continue.
Thank you.
Continue to,
Our next meeting,
will it,
Well, it is, it's November 7th.
November 7th.
So I'll make a motion to continue, to November 7th, the abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, 1255 and 1305 New State Highway, MT lot development.
Second?
Motion was made and seconded for a continuance. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't have to rush.
Doesn't start till late.
8:40.
8:40. Way past my bedtime.
Well, our time, they start at
The clock hasn't moved the whole time we've been here.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Just don't know.
It's the wrong time, that's the wrong time.
Yeah, you should probably, well,
just
it's
feels like
continued,
that stuff.
but you should probably, at the next meeting, because you already continued it.
The waiver.
The waiver of the consulting
We'll
fee.
do that at the
Gotta
next
vote.
meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
I
do
forgot.
that, you already
Okay.
continued hearing, so you can't act on it now.
Vote on it next
Yeah,
time.
vote on it next time, yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. That's it for formal. Both our informals have canceled on Crimson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they called and they wanted to continue to the next meeting. There was some issues with it.
With the drainage.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so just we're down to general business. Acceptance of the meeting, the minutes of October 3rd. Everybody get a chance to read them?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of October 3rd.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain,
Abstained.
I wasn't here.
That's right. Good man.
Although I
So-
did read the minutes.
So four affirmative, one abstained. Any bills? Correspondence, Gail.
Yes, Chairman, I think I sent you the email out from Brad Fitzgerald. And he's working on the post office. They want to connect to sewer.
Yep.
Azu, I'll let you take a look at it. It's probably, he wants to know what category to use on the,
The sewers on the street, with the pond, because of the pond.
North Raynham the North Raynham
Oh, on
post
Broadway,
office.
Broadway.
On
On
Broadway.
Broadway, okay, I'm thinking the North Main Street.
Yeah, they have wetlands on the side of
138,
it, so they have to file before
They
they
have
can.
wetlands and they have a drainage they're gonna have to go through.
No, I was thinking of,
Yeah.
North Main Street,
Yeah.
yeah, never mind.
You're not a townie, so.
Look, how does it with Raynham get two post offices?
We're good.
No,
I guess.
I don't.
Is that post office movie?
No, stay employed.
Yeah.
I thought the guy,
The owner is selling the post
So-
office, so he wants to connect to sewer because the system has failed over there.
okay, but then the post office is moving.
They're not moving as far as I
Well,
know.
no.
As far as I know.
Yeah. right
I
now.
talked to the girl there and they're hoping to stay.
Yeah, they're hoping to.
Well, no, it can't be category one, because it's it's not residential,
Okay,
so I can't do category one.
so we have to get an answer for him because he wants to know what to do.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, it's category three,
category 3?
it's category three.
Okay,
So you'll notify him?
yep.
All right.
Yeah,
The only-
it's trying to use a category for a house, a post office.
Okay.
That's it.
The only other issue I have is, again, I got a call today from Roberta Anderson on Lot 1 Richmond Street.
Mm-hmm.
Her backyard is flooded again, and she wants to know what we're doing about
It
it.
rained for a week.
I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
I did get the
it
call
rained-
today.
it rained-
Has anybody-
Everybody, even my house got flooded
Yes.
quite a lot.
Has
Not my
anybody-
house.
Has
but my
anybody been out there to
property.
check the hay bales, make sure they're working?
And Mr. Andrunas said he would meet with you guys whenever you want to. Just get him a time and a date,
Yeah.
and he will
Okay,
come in and sit down and go over the file with you.
okay.
That's for the driver. He had not built the culvert that he was supposed to do.
Okay.
So, I
Um,
just wanted to let the commission know that she is calling again.
Okay, he has,
So why don't we have him come in next meeting?
Okay.
Okay, that'd be easiest, and then
Yeah.
if we have to do a site visit, we'll do a site
Yeah.
visit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I did go out to that house probably about 6 months ago, in the spring, for the same type of issue in the backyard, and it was very saturated and soggy back then while the construction was going on, and the construction, I think, is still going on at that location. So this is probably the same ongoing
Issue.
issue.
All right.
Oh, just
I
have him
guess
come in.
my question
and
is-
do with what he's doing.
When did they apply for that permit? How many years ago?
Not many years, it's about 2 years.
About 2 years. Wonder what the holdup is.
But it's busy.
Should they have installed that drainage first to alleviate?
No, because if they had, it would all get clogged up with all the material that's moving back and forth.
Because I know the woman that called.
So, all right.
She did come to the meeting when this was before
Yeah,
us, and she
yeah,
did
yeah.
voice her concern about what was gonna happen, and
She had
it's
pictures.
happening.
So I know they've put the they've started to do the driveway work and the tree clearing. Can you just swing by there and make sure that the hay bales are still up and working
I will not be around tomorrow.
the next day?
Absolutely, but if somebody that's closer tomorrow,
Oh, he doesn't have to be done today, but
By the next meeting.
by the next meeting, if you,
Yes.
because you've already been out there, if you wouldn't mind.
yes, I will take care of it.
Perfect. Delegation, I love it.
What are we doing about the drones?
I haven't heard anything, but
Oh, you missed last meeting.
I heard. I read the notes. There was another drone up there.
Yes, they sent a drone to get the drone.
we have a department head meeting tomorrow, and I will ask Tim about it and see what
Okay.
happens.
Should we send up a third drone? A recovery drone for the recovery drone?
An eagle came by.
I think we need another
Because
plan.
they're not cutting the trees.
Eagle came by.
Here it is right there, you know.
All right,
You can sign it.
Yeah, sounds good.
site visits, anything?
Richmond.
The only one I did was the Mr. Costa, that didn't want to get his engineer out there.
Okay,
So-
all right, so that's it. Okay. One last motion.
No.
Oh,
I attended a pre-meeting yesterday for 275 State Highway with the Planning Department and the Fire Department and the Board of Health. Just the storage area behind Rockland Trust Bank, they're going to add 3 more buildings there. And that's well within the 100-foot of the river. So they're going to be required to come in with an NOI for us, so we can look at that, and they will be doing that. So we should be getting an NOI from them.
which one's Rockland? Where's that?
IHOP?
Is that where,
Okay.
Right
yeah,
behind the IHOP.
Isn't,
There's some
The
sort of
first aid.
storage
the
facility.
jeweler is going in there, right?
Yeah, he's
Hanush.
next door to that.
Hanush.
Next door to that.
Next door.
Yeah, they haven't started working there, but.
The Red Cross is out back,
Yes.
the wood place, okay.
Well, evidently, there's some storage facility back there with some storage, and they're gonna add 3 more big buildings there.
Oh, that's right, yes,
Which
yes,
is
yes,
gonna
yes, yes,
encroach
yes, yes.
a lot
Okay,
on the
right,
river,
Right,
so-
right, okay, yes.
He's gonna have to come up with an NOI for us, so we'll have to look at that.
Okay,
And that was yesterday.
thank you for attending that. Anything else, Bill, before we?
Make a
Sure.
motion?
Okay,
He had to get his report in there.
Hey, I'm doing my
Motion to
job
adjourn,
here.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.